News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A reaction to the Florida massacre from the floor of the U.S. Senate. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, June 14th. It is Flag Day 2016. Light rain falling in Missoula right now. It's 56 degrees. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Montana Junior Senator Steve Daines took to the floor of the Senate yesterday to address the ISIS-inspired terrorist attack at an Orlando, Florida nightclub over the weekend. Daines expressed his grief and condolences to the families of the victims.
The atrocity that occurred this past weekend in Orlando, Florida, was an attack on every American. And my deepest condolences are with the victims and the families of this appalling attack.
Daines called out to President Obama for leadership in eliminating the terrorist threat, especially inside our own borders.
The threat of ISIS is continuing to grow each and every day. We need a strong strategy to destroy the growing threat of Islamic extremism on our soil as well. President Obama, what is that strategy?
Daines then pleaded with those in government and media to not politicize the tragedy.
The senseless hate of ISIS and radical Islam will not defeat us, but rather strengthen our resolve and commitment to freedom. And the worst response would be to politicize this and use this tragedy to restrict our constitutional rights and freedoms.
50 people, including the assassin, were killed, dozens more wounded in the attack at the Pulse nightclub early Sunday morning. People expressed sympathy, sorrow, disbelief, and anger during vigils held around the state to remember and honor the victims of that mass shooting at a gay nightclub in Orlando. The Reverend Gregory Smith, an openly gay Episcopal priest in Bozeman, said he's tired of attending such events. He says gay people have a right to safety and a right to live their lives without fear. The shooting early Sunday left 50 people dead, including the gunman, and injured 53 others. In Billings, Liz Welch with the American Civil Liberties Union said she's saddened by the violence and angered. She urged people to help protect the rights and the safety of that community. Vigils were also held Sunday evening in Missoula, Helena, Great Falls, and Kalispell. 40-year-old Stephen Harmon is in the Missoula County Jail, charged with felony assault with a weapon after allegedly threatening another man with a knife and also to slit his former wife's throat. At Harmon's Justice Court appearance yesterday, Deputy Missoula County Attorney Celine Kepke asked Judge Karen Orzek for $15,000 bail.
He was arrested for assault with a weapon after brandishing a knife during an argument. He allegedly threatened to kill his ex-wife who was inside the residence, stating specifically that he was going to slit her throat. One of the victims was forced to pull his gun to get the defendant to stop.
Kepke went on to inform the judge of Harmon's criminal history.
Several people witnessed or overheard various parts of this. The defendant was convicted of criminal endangerment in 2002, where he received a 3-year deferred sentence. He did successfully complete that sentence. He has pending misdemeanor theft case in our office. At
one point, Harmon said to the arresting officer, quote, "I don't care, just shoot me in the head," end quote. Judge Orzek set Harmon's bail at $15,000. His next court appearance is June 28th. Missoula police took a man into custody Friday after a call came in that he was threatening others with a metal pipe. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
Reported that another male had threatened him with a metal pipe, swung it in a threatening fashion, and actually chased him with it before he was able to get away and call 911. Through the initial investigation, the officers were able to identify and locate 68-year-old Larry Hurley. Mr. Hurley was walking away from the area with a shopping cart that did contain a couple of metal pipes.
More charges began piling up when Andrew Hurley was confronted by officers.
It appears that he may have had an outstanding misdemeanor warrant, and he was charged with misdemeanor theft for taking and being in possession of the shopping cart from a local grocery store.
Hurley's now in the Missoula County Jail. Bond was set at $50,000. That was reduced to $1,000 yesterday during his Justice Court appearance. A Montana State prison guard plans to plead guilty in a drug smuggling case at the Deer Lodge facility. Federal prosecutors say Martin Reap smuggled methamphetamine and marijuana to prisoners from February 2015 until the end of April. A plea deal filed in U.S. District Court in Helena Monday said Reap will plead guilty to accepting bribes in exchange for prosecutors dropping drug conspiracy, possession, and distribution charges. Prosecutors will also recommend a lighter sentence for Reap because he's taking responsibility for the crime and could move to reduce it further if he provides them with substantial assistance in the investigation. The indictment says Reap smuggled $5,000 or more worth of drugs to unnamed co-conspirators in the prison in exchange for payments of $5,000 or more. Bozeman leaders are set to decide whether they should split up Montana's largest high school. The Bozeman Daily Chronicle reports the Bozeman School Board will vote on a committee recommendation that it's time to build a second school. Bozeman High School serves about 2,000 students, a number that's expected to grow to 2,400 by the year 2020. The 8 school board trustees seemed split on the issue when they discussed it last month. Some worry that the project would force budget cuts, limit students' choices, and increase teacher workloads. A 31-member advisory committee of parents, teachers, trustees, administrators, students, and community members voted 24-7 in favor of a second school after several months of investigation. 2 school board trustees are among those who voted against the second school. Well, almost no one felt it, but Montana did have a fairly strong earthquake yesterday morning, according to seismologist Michael Stickney.
There was a magnitude 4.3 earthquake at 6:14 this morning, and it was centered down near the Centennial Valley west of Hebgen Lake over in the southern Gravelly Mountains. The epicenter is in a very remote area as far as homes or buildings are concerned.
The earthquake struck all the way down to Idaho, but only a handful of reports came in. One was relatively humorous.
It wasn't quite big enough that it would be of the size where we would expect damage. The only felt report I've gotten is down from the southern Madison Valley, from a resident there who said it shook fairly strongly. And I see on the USGS website only 3 people in the southern Madison Valley have reported feeling it.
According to the Associated Press, the earthquake woke up a startled employee at Henry's Lake State Park in Idaho, who awoke thinking a bear was shaking his cabin. And federal officials have struck a deal with Wyoming to buy a square mile of state land inside Grand Teton National Park for $46 million by the end of this year. Governor Matt Mead and Interior Secretary Sally Jewell announced the agreement yesterday at the Western Governors Association meeting in Jackson. Under the deal, Congress would appropriate half of the purchase price, with private donations covering the rest. The property in Jackson Hole offers a wide view of the Teton Range. Wyoming has owned the land since statehood. The land never became part of Grand Teton, despite being surrounded by park lands on all sides. Wyoming officials have been prodding the Interior Department to buy the land for years, and even have threatened to sell the land to the highest bidder. Where have we heard that phrase before? Our News Talk time now, coming up on 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with scattered showers and a possible thunderstorm. Highs will be stuck in the upper 50s and low 60s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.